welcome to Allen Fieldhouse. And Kansas women's basketball today in the postseason. It's the WNIT as Kansas plays host to Western Kentucky University. Along with Wayne Simeon, I'm Josh Klingler. Wayne, a Jayhawks squad that was hoping to be in the NCAA tournament. One of the last teams out, dealt with a week of disappointment, maybe some anger, according to head coach Brandon Schneider, and now have to bounce back and prepare for a postseason maybe a little different than they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, you know, both of these teams are dealing with disappointment. Western Kentucky losing to Middle Tennessee State in their conference championship. But what do you do with that disappointment? Do you turn it into a pity party, or do you turn it into determination, because both these teams have a great opportunity of competing for another championship?
WKU is a three-point shooting team. They have a very balanced scoring attack led by Casey Hayes.
Casey Hayes coming off a great last 7 games, averaging nearly 15 points, and this team gets up a ton of three-pointers, making about 9 a game. If they can shoot over that average and turn KU over 20-plus times, I think it'll be certainly to their advantage.
Meanwhile, the Jayhawks have a big advantage inside if they can take advantage of it. The 6'6", Ty Jackson.
Yeah, one of the most dominant players in college basketball, certainly the Big 12. And we saw that from her postseason accolades. Coming off a disappointing performance in Kansas City against TCU, you got to believe that Tiana Jackson's looking for a big bounce-back game.
Wayne knows all about double-doubles, and Tiana Jackson, 19 now double-doubles on this season, 22 for her career.
Certainly a matchup that plays to not only her favor, but the entirety of the Kansas roster is they're leading in experience and in size at almost every position.
There's head coach Brandon Schneider of the Kansas Jayhawks. 101 wins here at Kansas and passed the 500 win mark for his career earlier this season. His 8th year at the helm of the Jayhawks. Schneider led the Jayhawks to the NCAA tournament a season ago, was last year's Big 12 Coach of the Year. And a 19-11 squad entering today, looking for yet another 20-win season. We're set to jump things up. It's Tiana Jackson ahead to Zakiya Franklin. Off the window and no good. We've seen her with the left hand drop that shot so many times. Again, Western Kentucky is going to shoot a lot of threes here this afternoon. They average almost 29 three-point attempts. That's 4th in the NCAA per game. And Brandon Schneider, head coach of Jayhawks, said he wouldn't be surprised if they shot 40 here tonight. They have a size disadvantage against Kansas. They're going to try to use that arc.
Yeah, I'm sure that's something that Coach Greg Collins really emphasized. Why not shoot your shot and shoot to your strength? And
first three-point shot is missed. Up ahead quickly in transition. Kansas with Chandler Prater with the lay-in.
That shows you right there how long shots can turn into easy transition baskets offensively if Kansas can get a clean rebound and a quick outlet with guys filling the lane.
On the bounce goes Pitts, top of the circle. 3 is splashed home from Jalen Foster. She steps out and knocks down the 3, essentially playing a big for WKU and forcing Tiana Jackson to come out and guard that arc. They took advantage of it there for a 3-2 lead. They'll attack defensively as well. Very good defensive team, and WKU get a lot of steals. Try to get some things going in transition as well. Mayberry breaks down the baseline. Can't hit. Prater's put back. No good. Rebound ripped away by Hayes.
Yeah, not only a very good defensive team, but a team that has a lot of defensive tools in their tool belt, as I'm sure we'll see a lot of varying defensive actions out here through the game.
There's Hayes with the drive to the bucket. The Conference USA Freshman of the Year driving to the hole for her first bucket. You see them establishing that full court pressure defense as well. They get behind it though with Franklin for the win.
Great composure by the Kansas offense, working through that first sign of pressure by Western Kentucky, able to find an easy bucket.
Step back 3 is left short by Meade. Rebound to Kansas. 280 made threes this year for WKU, the most in their school history. Added one more already here this afternoon. But again, they will throw up a bunch of them. Inside attempt to Jackson, off her hands and out of bounds as the Lady Toppers, nice job with a double team down low on the Kansas big.
And as the ball was in flight, Meade did a great job of coming over to double team Tiana Jackson, bothering her on the catch and forcing that turnover.
Western Kentucky, as Wayne mentioned, lost in the Conference USA Championship game in Middle Tennessee, who advanced to the Big Dance. They swept the season series against the Lady Toppers, who finished second in the conference. Speaking with their head coach, Greg Collins, he said that a couple of non-conference wins probably away from being able to qualify for the tournament themselves. Maya Meredith in the driving bucket for the lay-in. But they had a pretty aggressive non-conference schedule. He thought had they picked off a couple of wins they didn't get in the non-con, they would have been in better position to get themselves an at-large bid. Played Vanderbilt at Missouri in the non-con, on the road at Ball State, Indiana State as well.
And Western Kentucky, a very difficult team to prepare for because they play so many players, they run so many different sets at you offensively and defensively. Can bring a little bit of confusion on both sides of the basketball for their opponents. And you see a zone there, but
Prater slips through the back door for the lay-in. So Prater with a couple of early buckets.
Kent's doing a great job having multiple defensive looks thrown at them early in this first quarter and able to handle all of them quite well.
Hayes fakes the three with the 6'6" Jackson, the shot blocker out on her. Meade in the lane. Now on the switch, Meredith lost the handle, ripped away by Prater. Prater on the bounce, going coast to coast. Missed it, got it back. Kick out Franklin, fakes the three. Through traffic. Loose ball on the floor. Tipped away by WKU. Jayhawks will have it out of bounds.
I love the aggressiveness and the assertiveness by Chandler Prater there on the defensive end. And you could tell when she got that rebound, she had the intent of scoring that basketball. But, you know, this is the type of energy and effort you want to see by the Jayhawks early in the game. Even though they missed a few bunnies, you got bodies flying around, folks diving on the floor, trying to steal the possessions back. And
Franklin for three, in and out. Rebound to Meade. Shortest player on the floor at 5'5", got the board that time. Errant pass stolen away by Franklin. 2-on-2, behind the back, through the lane, lays it in with the left hand. And Kansas is in front. Zakiya Franklin, first team all Big 12 performer this season. Leading scorer on the Jayhawks on the year as well. Gets her first drive to the hole.
Man, when Zakiya Franklin can get to that left hand with space in transition, she's very difficult to stop. But man, I'm really impressed early by the activity of Western Kentucky.
Prater for three, off the mark. Rebound once again to Meade. Well, Coach Collins says, get across the court, get your first good shot. They're not afraid of filling up with volume offensively. Shot is missed from three, that time from Meredith. Long rebound now to Prater. Kerskeeter, the trailer three hits. Holly Kerskeeter knocks down her first bucket.
I think that's going to be an important key to this game. As you mentioned, Chandler Prater chasing down that long rebound. A team that shoots volume three-pointers is naturally going to have long rebounds, so it's going to be up not just to Tiana Jackson to take on the rebounding responsibility, but all four of the other Jayhawks out there as well.
Second chance here. Corner three is missed by Meredith. Rebound to Kansas. Up court now to Mayberry. Sets her feet. Fires from three. Off the back iron. And rebounded to WKU. Time on the floor will take one as well. Heavy pace to start this one. Chandler Prater off to the nice start as Kansas leads by 2. Kansas an early 2-point lead, 11-9 here, opening round of the WNIT here in Lawrence. There's a look at WKU head coach Greg Collins, 5th year as the head coach, 11th year on the bench for WKU, was assistant coach and then promoted to the head coaching position. Got a very young squad, no seniors, 5 juniors, 4 sophomores, 4 freshmen. Finished second in Conference USA this season. Here's a look at the bracket in the WNIT. Not to look ahead, Wayne Simeon, but you very well know as a Kansas grad what could be looming there in round 2.
Yeah,
my
eyes aren't the only ones that are looking ahead to that matchup, but of course the Jayhawks have to take care of business here. But pretty favorable side of the bracket that they're on, of course, seeing it recently, but also another potential matchup down the road that the Jayhawks would like to have a rematch against Nebraska, who they lost a tough game there right before the Christmas break in overtime.
Now, if you're WKU, you say, I'd like Missouri as well. They lost to Missouri on the road in the second game of the season, one of their early non-conference losses. And so they would love to have a crack once again at the Tigers. So that's what's on the line here tonight in the opening round of the WNIT. Off the bench and firing for 3, Pope Savory.
So believe you me, Coach Collins would love to get another crack at Missouri, because that WKU team that lost to them earlier on in the season is not the same team that they have now, especially with such a young roster filled with freshmen and sophomores. I'm sure many of them have got some more experience and are ready to take on that type of opponent.
Good job walling off Jackson with 3 red jerseys around her. They come away with the rebound, back the other way.
You know, the longer that Tiana Jackson takes to shoot the basketball, the more crowded and congested it's going to get, as WKU already early has sent multiple defenders at her as soon as she touches the basketball.
Foster bustling inside against Jackson for the bucket. And WKU now up 3. Franklin behind the back, nearly had it stolen away. That's what you have to be careful with as well. Team that averages 12 steals a game. Inside, Franklin got loose on the back door on the assist. In for the bucket. A couple of subs each way for the Jayhawks. Sanna Strom is in, sophomore from Sweden, in for the first time. Also, Karis Allen, a freshman guard from Sikeston, Missouri, in for WKU, along with the aforementioned Savory, who hit a 3 immediately out of the timeout.
Yeah, these are going to be some pivotal minutes for Strom, as she struggled at times throughout the year, turning the ball over, and that's one of the main things that WKU is best at.
Slater misses Jackson the stick back, but a player fell down in the lane, and in a great deal of pain, they let him play through. The bucket finished by Jackson. I believe that's Foster. It's in the middle of the screen. Just got ran into by a teammate, looks like, and she's down in the middle of the lane. So a lot of concern from the Lady Topper bench. They're starting forward Jalen Foster, injured for the moment.
Nothing malicious there by Tiana Jackson, but a little friendly fire as we saw one of her teammates collide. Wow, looks like she took a knee to the head. Good to see her pop right back up.
Officials coming over to tell us they were double checking the monitor, make sure there was nothing there. Greg Small, Missy Brooks, Nicole Brandon are officiating crew today. And Foster will go take a seat for the moment at the end of the bench.
Should be a quick glance by the officials, because we didn't see much there.
Looked like it was a teammate. So WKU enters tonight, as I mentioned, very young squad. School record for threes this year. Team that doesn't turn the ball over much and creates a lot of steals. Mentioned they're about 12 steals a game, and that's 6 in the NCAA. They're a couple of steals away from the school record this year. They're 6th in the NCAA, or excuse me, 10th in the NCAA in turnovers forced at about 20 a game, and they don't turn the basketball over. Asked Coach Collins about that. And he said, well, we do a good job of not messing with the ball. We push it, we get that first good shot, and we don't turn it over a lot that way.
Well, you know, as young as they are, they certainly haven't showed any flinch.
No.
Postseason flinch against a Power 5 opponent early in this game. And so I'm sure that's the type of start that Coach Collins is pleased with.
Odette Betancourt into the lineup, a junior forward for the first time, replacing the injured Foster.
Kansas taking advantage of that dead ball entry and showing a little bit of press there that threw the Hilltoppers off a little bit and created a good opportunity for Tiana Jackson.
Jackson on the drive to the hole. And her second made bucket. Tiana Jackson, all Big 12 performer, also all Big 12 defensive team. Sabori hit a three a moment ago, same spot, couldn't get it to drop here.
That was a great find by Holly Kirkskeeter coming downhill, left hand off that pick and roll and hitting Tiana Jackson with the pocket pass. I'm sure they'll be looking for that as the evening goes along.
Strom off the Jackson screen, in and out for three. Quickly up court comes Macy Blevins. Blevins on the drive, too strong. Rebound to Kirkskeeter. And look out, did Sabori hounding for a steal attempt. Good ball movement, corner three. Missed by Strom, but an over the back foul on WKU's Karis Allen.
Western Kentucky foul line. Karis Allen, that's her first. Second team foul.
The Jayhawks the last time offensively down the floor. Nice little pick and roll, and Jackson with the finish. Katrina Jessen in for the first time for Kansas. The junior forward out of Denmark replacing Jackson, who will get a breather. Mayberry turned down the open three. Now will take the open three and hit it. Sometimes when you have that hesitation, it doesn't go down, but Mayberry, I guess, had to find a better spot on the floor.
Yeah, and she's built some confidence as the season's gone along as a capable three-point shooter, and she showed that to be true right there. And interesting seeing this substitution, Katrina Jessen coming off the bench. Usually it's Nadira El-Tayeb, but I think this Western Kentucky playing 5 out suits Jessen a little bit better. She has the ability to guard the smaller perimeter players a little bit better.
Jessen got the rebound there, throws it off the Lady Toppers. Good news for WKU. Jalen Foster, who went down with the injury in the lane a moment ago, okay now and back in the mix. They kick it in, three-pointer in the corner. Kirkskeeter, Prater rips away the offensive rebound, missed the putback though.
I would have liked to seen Chandler keep that ball on her left shoulder and go straight up with her strong hand instead of shot faking.
Foster into two Jayhawk defenders. No whistle, and back comes KU. Kirkskeeter and the Jayhawks on a 9-0 run. 8 seconds to go here in the quarter. They get the corner look for Kirkskeeter. And missed it to end the quarter. Play they were looking for looked like a little long to get it set up, but the Jayhawks have scored 9 straight. They lead it here at home by 6 at the end of one. Kansas leads WKU 20-14. Kansas on the back of a 9-0 run to end the opening quarter. 6-point lead here in the opening round of the WNIT from Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence. Taking a look at the three-point shooting, Wayne, both teams 2 for 10 from the arc, maybe a few more than Kansas would like. They shoot the three, I would say, in a reasonable amount. WKU, meanwhile, you think about three-point shooting teams, for instance, in the conference, in K-State and Iowa State. K-State shot 832 threes to lead the Big 12 this year. WKU comes in, had 914 attempts from the arc this year.
WKU is keeping up about with their average pace. As we see a first one fly there out of that stoppage of play. But I do think that Kansas has settled a little bit too much early for the three-point shot.
And here's a three up and down for Macy Blevins.
As most of their points have come from points in the paint, I think it's going to be important for the Jayhawks to stay aggressive in attacking the rim for some offensive productivity.
Coach Collins said he told his team, everybody hit 2 threes and we can be in the ballgame. So he gave everybody the edict. Everybody on this Lady Topper squad needs to knock down a couple threes here this afternoon. Jayhawks missed a three off the wing from Mayberry. And you're right, they may have kind of coaxed Kansas into getting a little too comfortable at times beyond the arc. Kansas a definitive height advantage, although we've seen them play a little bit smaller here today. But Jackson back in at 6'6", tallest player by far on the floor. Down the lane, trying to get through traffic was Teresa Faustino. Just checked in, couldn't get it to drop.
Kansas doing a solid job of taking care of the basketball. Only one turnover in that first quarter.
Backdoor pass to Prater, who's fouled before the shot. On the floor off the high-low from Tiana Jackson.
You know, we've seen it a lot this year as Tiana Jackson isn't necessarily a proficient shooter from up there around the top of the key, but as the defenders drop coverage off into the lane, she's actually an above-average passer. And if there's no ball pressure while she has the ball up there, she does a pretty good job of being able to find an open cutter.
Western Kentucky with 4 subs. They get back to their starting 5 here just into the second quarter. Franklin drives to Prater. Nearly turned it over, but got it back. Western Kentucky hounding defensively on the perimeter. Franklin off the screen, drives and kicks. Prater for 3. Jackson gets the tip out. Franklin fires it back up. That's off the iron, no good. Back the other way comes Meade. 3 is missed by Meredith, but Western Kentucky gets it back. Foster, top of the key. That one's off the back iron. Jackson up high to rip away the rebound. Keep an eye on Tiana Jackson today. 4 points, 6 rebounds, and of course, 19 double-doubles on the season for the Kansas Post.
Looks like she's well on pace for another one, given her activity on the glass early.
Loose ball, kick out for 3 is up and down for Hayes, and we're tied at 20.
You got to give Western Kentucky credit. I think that a lot of Kansas's settling for the three-point shot has to do with Western Kentucky's activity and daring them to shoot, really shrinking in on the paint, obviously emphasizing defensively on Tiana Jackson, but knowing Zakiya Franklin and Mayberry are good drivers and would prefer to drive.
Well, I bet Mayberry does drive there and draws the foul, as she'll head to the line for a pair of free throws.
Number 23,
Sophia Telegdi in for the first time for Kansas, the freshman forward from Hungary. Mayberry at the line for a pair, the Tulsa, Oklahoma native, transferred from Tulsa in her first season with the Jayhawks. Averaged close to 12 a game.
What a great get from the portal. Lyvette Mayberry has been, I think she's actually probably played above expectation as she's still continuing to learn and grow and develop in this system. Could be a steady point guard for the Jayhawks for several more years to come.
Yeah, she and Franklin give you the opportunity to play essentially 2 point guards at any time on the floor. Both very good in assists. Both have been really good at driving the basketball. And there's a massive swat from Jackson, saved by Franklin. Tiana Jackson gets her first block of the game. Now 1 off her season mark of a year ago. Set the school record at 95 block shots. Sana Strom, how did she bank that in from that angle?
That's pretty impressive, whether she did that on purpose or not. A bank shot from the corner 3.
So the first made 3 for Strom. Kansas up 5. Quick shot for Western Kentucky University. Back the other way comes Kerskeeter and drives to the lane and draws the foul on Hayes.
Katrina Jessen returns for the Jayhawks, replacing Tiana Jackson.
Now, I know the block was the exclamation mark at the end, but she did a great job of moving her feet against the faster Western Kentucky player to give her the position to be able to get to that block shot, which isn't easy to do of a player her size.
Followed by Strom's bank 3. You saw from the other angle there. Franklin on the drive, tried to use the window and comes up just a bit short. Corner 3 is missed, this time from Pitts. Jessen tracks down the rebound.
Jayhawks having a little trouble in sorting in transition, making sure they're finding and identifying the shooters, which is everyone in the red jersey out there. Western Kentucky showing if there's any time or space, they'll let that fly.
Sana Strom through traffic that time after hitting the three. That time goes the dribble, splits a couple defenders, and she's got 5.
It's interesting there on that possession with Tiana Jackson out of the game. It seemed like there was a little bit more space in the paint, which Sana Strom took advantage of with the dribble, drive, and layup.
6 straight WKU points, followed by 7 straight Jayhawk points. Meade will answer for 3.
Ooh, impressive move with the snatch back, step back for 3.
Strom drives again, this time dishes to Franklin. Wing 3 from Zakiya Franklin is off the mark. Rebound to WKU, looking to push, as always, with Meade. In the corner to Hayes. Fake the 3. Now we'll go drive baseline and lay it in. Acacia Hayes with a dribble drive to the hoop gets the Lady Toppers back within 2. Legdy, top of the circle. Tried to fire it on the wing to Franklin. It's knocked out of bounds. Kansas will have it after a timeout on the floor. Just past the midpoint of the quarter, Kansas up 2. Tiana Jackson with the rejection. Good one underway here. WNIT opening round. Western Kentucky down to 2 to Kansas. You don't want to... They were hiding what they were doing there. Did you notice that?
I think it was actually the sunlight that's coming in from the windows.
Okay, that could be too. Hey, how about the freshman? Acacia Hayes, just a freshman, but a really savvy play here on a dribble drive for a bucket.
Doing a great job. She knows this is going to be a tough closeout, trying to run them off the 3. And actually, there's a lot of credit to the 4 other Hilltoppers that were actually lifted above the 3-point line, which caused late rotation help by the Jayhawks, which Hayes was able to take advantage of for the layup there.
Hayes, their leading scorer in the season. Their only double-figure scorer with 11 a game, but they have a whole bunch of players right around the 8-9 point per game mark. They also get 29 points off the bench, so they've had just terrific production. 10 different leading scorers on the season. Here's Hayes with the corner 3. Got her own rebound and sticks it back. Ran past Tiana Jackson and ties the game.
Yeah. Tiana Jackson just fell asleep there. She had a good, hard closeout on the shooter there, but forgot to finish the play with a block out, which led to an easy basket.
Prater had her pocket picked. Back the other way come the Lady Toppers. In for the first time, Josie Gilvin, a freshman out of Louisville, wearing 33. Meade out front, gets the pick and roll. Foster to the rim and the lead, and Kansas will call timeout. 9 straight points for the Lady Toppers.
Wow, that was a great find there by Meade, and the Hawks finished that quarter with the 9-0 run. Now the Hilltoppers feeling some momentum right there, and it's interesting that their full court pressure that they have isn't necessarily trapping in the back court, but it's that Jayhawks get the ball to the middle. It's causing them to be sped up, thinking that they have numbers, and now you have the 2 defensive players backfilling there, causing the steal by Chandler Prater, getting the Jayhawks sped up just a little bit out of character, out of sorts, which is something that we all knew the Hilltoppers are proficient at.
WKU's hit 4 of their last 5 shots. 9-0 run. Less than 2 minutes. Coach Greg Collins asked him about having 10 different leading scorers on the season and whether or not that was an advantage. He says it's a luxury and a puzzle at the same time. There were times where you're like, I would like to know where our scoring's going to be, because it's been a different player kind of one game in, one game out, sometimes depending on matchups.
Well, and now we're able to see them score in a variety of ways, both from the 3-point line and driving to the basket.
Kerskeeter misses the 3, tracked down by Foster on the rebound. Foot on the line for 2 is up and good for Karis Allen. And make it now 11 straight points for the visitors. quickly up court. Jackson, the reverse is good. Contact was there, did not get the whistle, but the bucket good for Tania Jackson.
And definitely some contact there as the officials have been letting them play all game. I have no idea how that was not an and one.
Hayes on the drive. Fouled by Prater going to the rim.
Kansas foul number 25, 10.
Man, such a difficult matchup there as Jalen Foster was there in the corner, drawing Sienna Strom out to that corner away from being able to step in to help defense where she normally would be. Acacia Hayes recognizing that, getting downhill and drawing the foul against Prater.
Hayes, good free throw shooter, 76% on the season's been there the most for the Lady Toppers on the year as well.
Coach Collins making that comment about not always knowing where his points are coming from, but I tell you what, when Hayes gets going early, you can certainly pin her in for a big night offensively, which she's starting to show now.
She's a double figures with 10. Pressure again, broken by Kansas. Kerskeeter through the lane, shot is missed, and looked like maybe Gilvin thought she caught an elbow on the way through. Bounce pass in transition, Foster off the assist from Meade.
I think the Hawks are allowing their frustration on the offensive end and not being able to score early bother them on the defensive end, and maybe not having a short memory.
Broken floor there from Wybett Mayberry with the lay-in. That wasn't easy. But you're right, the pace definitely favoring the Lady Toppers. They are forcing Kansas to play fast. Not that the Jayhawks will play at a slow pace by any means, but certainly this is a higher gear than I think they would like, but it's the defensive pressure leading to some quick work on the offensive end, as you mentioned, maybe defensively affecting them as well.
Well, this should be a fun gears that players like Wybett Mayberry and Chandler Prater should be able to thrive in. It's just a matter of staying poised and composed once they get the ball across half court and beat that pressure to be able to get quality looks on this offensive end like we saw there. We got a quick...
They get it inside to Jackson, and she is fouled and will head to the free throw line. Good post up that time. And a technical foul, I believe, on Foster as well after the play.
Yeah, Foster frustrated with that. Probably was frustrated more with herself, it looked like, than the call. Slamming the ball down there and the official, and that's been a no-no for a long time in the game of basketball.
So Tania Jackson will shoot, I believe, the foul shots first because she's struggled at the free throw line, and I'm sure the Jayhawks would probably use one of their other shooters for the technical, so we'll get the foul here. I suppose unless she stays hot, then you leave her there, right?
Tania Jackson did a nice job on that post entry with the quick turn and finish, not dribbling, not shot faking, going right up into that contact.
And there's the spiking of the ball by Foster. So 1 of 2 at the line for Jackson. Now Zakiya Franklin will shoot the technical. And rolls it in. 86% at the free throw line for Franklin on the season. She'll take the second one here. Long discussion now near the scorer's table. Head coach Greg Collins of the Lady Toppers and official Greg Small wanted a little explanation of that.
And a great opportunity for the Hawks here to get some free points with the clock stopped, and now getting the basketball back, possibly able to take a lead going into halftime.
So the foul, then technical foul, results in 3 free throws, and now a tie ball game.
Correction on the foul. Called on number 2, Aaliyah Pitts.
So they've switched the foul to Pitts and the technical to Foster. And for Foster, that'll be her third. Tie game here with a minute to go in the half. Tried the backdoor pass to Kerskeeter. It's knocked out of bounds. Kansas will maintain.
Probably a little insult to injury right there, as Foster's frustration was probably because she thought she got the foul, but the foul was not on her. And so that technical was almost for nothing.
Skeeter on the drive, through the lane, flipped it up. Jackson got the second chance. Prater missed the easy one and went off the underside of the rim. She thought she got a little contact. No whistle. Back the other way quickly, and it's a block shot. Pitts going to the rack, but Tiana Jackson there to erase.
Man, again, her effort to stay in the play. She was clearly beat on the dribble drive there, but just a resiliency and a resolve that Tiana Jackson had to continue to protect the rim actually kept the Hilltoppers from scoring that basket, which is why she's one of the best defenders in the Big 12.
Now her second block shot of the game. Baseline jumper is nailed by Meredith. Full court press again now with basically about a second, maybe less than a second shot clock to game clock. So Kansas can essentially hold for the final shot here of the half, down 2. Franklin being double teamed. Good for the Jackson in the corner. Skeeter now with 7. Franklin operating with 5. Off the window and good for Zakiya Franklin. The All-Big 12 performer ties the game at 36 here at halftime. What a fun opening half. Two teams pushing the pace, exchanging leads, and appropriate enough, 36 all here at the break. All square here at halftime. Kansas had a 7-point lead at one point in the opening half. WKU had a 5-point lead themselves. 7 lead changes in the opening half. And all knotted up here at halftime. Look at some of the first half shooting. Again, a lot of threes being put up each way. That's WKU style. KU maybe a few more than normal. Rebounds about even, and that was going to be a big number heading in for the visitors today. Both teams, for the most part, taking care of the basketball in this opening half.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job, and you know, the categories that the Jayhawks should be dominating, the Hilltoppers are nullifying. And so where is Kansas going to find their separation? I don't think it's going to be behind the three-point line. It's certainly going to have to be attacking the basket, getting to the free throw line, and then also establishing themselves in a strong way as a physical presence on that glass.
Each team's got a double-figure score here in the opening half. Kansas being led by their leading scorer in the season, Zakiya Franklin, with 10. WKU, their leading scorer in the season, Acacia Hayes, also in double figures with 10. Foster there with 9. Keep an eye on Foster, though. 3 fouls thanks to that technical late in the first half. And the double-double watch is on for Tiana Jackson. They got her with 1 more rebound than you see there. 7 points and 8 rebounds officially at halftime, approaching her 20th double-double on the season. And she leads the Big 12, obviously, in that category this year.
Well, the Jayhawks certainly need to make sure she gets more field goal attempts. As we're looking here at the stat line, we see Kurt Skeeter with 8 field goal attempts, Franklin with 10 field goal attempts, Prater with 9. Tiana Jackson, again, standing 6'6" in the paint with only 4 field goal attempts. You have to find a way to get the ball to her and really attack the paint with her presence.
The biggest the Lady Toppers can go is 6'2", and that comes off the bench. So the tallest player in their starting lineup at 6 feet tall. You know how it is as a big. You want that basketball down low, right, Wayne?
Yeah, it is. And, you know, I thought that she was able to build a little bit more confidence as the half went on at catching the ball and going right into her shot immediately. And a part of that has to do with those guards feeling comfortable with throwing her the basketball, knowing that she'll finish, which certainly has to take place this half if the Hawks want to have some separation.
WKU will have the basketball first to start the second half. And we're back underway. Sunshine beaming through here at Allen Fieldhouse on a strange day weather-wise. We had snow flurries and sunshine. Overcast and rain at a time, and now we're back to sunshine, as you see with the spot here on the floor down at this end.
Hooray for daylight savings. Got a little sunshine shining in.
Spring almost here, maybe. And the postseason is here, we know that. The winner of this game advances to face Missouri. Jayhawks would, of course, love a crack at their longtime rival. And WKU would like a shot at a team that beat them earlier in the non-conference. Second chance effort, and it's Jalen Foster for three and the lead.
Yeah, that won't work well for the Hawks at any stretch in the game. Giving your opponent 3 cracks at it. Got to finish that defensive possession with the defensive rebound.
Swing pass, wing to wing, and it's Holly Kersketer knocking down the three to tie it back up.
Nice for Holly to see one go in early in the half as the Hilltoppers came out showing zone, knowing that there was going to be an emphasis of trying to get the ball into Jackson.
Mead on the bounce, got it back in the backcourt. Shot clock under 10. Foster long three this time. And a good box out in the lane. Mayberry cleared it out. Prater takes the rebound. Down the court, Franklin with the lay-in in transition for Kansas.
I know Zakiya Franklin was actually the one that finished that bucket, but Wivette Mayberry actually had the scoring play with that incredible blockout that she had to start that fast break.
Meredith missed three. Back from the Jayhawks. Backdoor Franklin. Meredith got a piece of it, but the wrist as well. And 2 free throws ahead for Zakiya Franklin.
First team foul of the quarter.
Here's the last time down the floor on the defensive end for Kansas. Watch Mayberry clearing out the lane at 5'7".
Hey, I know we've got one of the best rebounders in the country in Tiana Jackson, but it is everyone's responsibility, 1 through 5, to rebound that basketball.
Zakiya Franklin knocks down the first free throw. Again, best free throw shooter on the Jayhawks at 86%, already in double figures. Was at halftime, and now finds herself with 14 points. Zakiya Franklin, the first team all Big 12 performer. Now 15 straight double-figure games and 26 on the season. Quickly answering is Hayes. She's got 12.
Gosh, for a freshman, she's playing with so much confidence, so much competitiveness. There wasn't any offensive action there. She just took it directly at Holly Kersketer and had a tough finish.
Jackson, backdoor to Prater. Nice hesitation. Gets a defender in the air and is fouled.
Kentucky foul, 2 on the offense. That's her second team foul.
Great find by Tiana Jackson. Really good catch by Prater. Still, opportunity to get those bunnies down. Thankfully, she's at the free throw line, able to get maybe a free bucket.
In and out on the first one. Fouls on Pitts, her second. And the second team foul here in the second half. Third quarter action here from Allen Fieldhouse. Chandler Prater puts the Jayhawks up 3. Each team operating offensively this half in front of their own bench. So the Lady Toppers getting their instruction from Greg Collins. A second ago, Mead out front handling. Now to Meredith. Meredith tries to drive on Mayberry, who's whistled for the foul.
Kansas foul on 0.
I thought that was a pretty good wall up. She got that left hand in there. I think that's what the official saw there. I've been really impressed with Alexis Mead. Even though she's the smallest in stature on the court for both teams, her command of this Hilltoppers team, her fiery competitiveness is really showing.
Mead was the 2022 Conference USA All-Freshman player. They also had Maya Meredith, who was at the line there. She was the Freshman of the Year in 2022 in the conference, and then backed it up this year with Acacia Hayes, who was this year's Conference USA Freshman of the Year. So a very young and talented group. Down the floor, Mayberry couldn't get it. There's Jackson for the follow. They broke the pressure quickly, and Mayberry almost had a layup with Jackson there to clean it up.
Yeah, really like Mayberry's layup attempt and finishing high off the glass, that even though she missed it, she was going to give Tiana Jackson an opportunity to get that offensive rebound. Several times throughout the season, we've seen her miss short where that ball hits into the corner of the backboard or maybe even below the rim, not giving your post player the opportunity, the ability to get a putback. You see the left-hand drive there. And a strong finish by Jackson.
Fouls on Zakiya Franklin of Kansas, her first. And just 3 team fouls on the Jayhawks, so no foul trouble to speak of here. 6.5 to go here in the third quarter. It's been a clean game from a foul standpoint for Kansas. Backdoor attempt that time, and Jackson's errant pass goes out of bounds.
Just a little mental error. She's done a great job being a facilitator from that high post area. That one there tried to take place on the first side of the floor where the defense is strongest. Needs to be a little bit more patient into the shot clock, looking to make those kind of plays.
And for Western Kentucky, Karis Allen drives to the hole, missed it. Rebound Prater through his foul. Allen on the foul after the missed shot. Second foul on Allen, third on WKU.
Probably a smart foul there by Allen, as the Jayhawks clearly had the advantage offensively, numbers-wise, looking to attack space in transition.
Skip pass to Mayberry. Prater operating at the free throw line right now for Kansas. Gets it coming down the lane, spins to the hole, and finishes.
Textbook offense when trying to attack a zone. You want to either attack the middle of that zone, the short corner, have skip passes from side to side, causing the defense to have long closeouts and big rotations. Chandler's pretty tough using that right hand as well.
Prater now with 7. Kansas lead at 6. Lady Toppers with the basketball. They're going to post up this time. Got inside to Foster, and she's able to avoid 2 Jayhawk defenders and finish.
Great effort there by Mayberry to come and to tear that pass. Only thing is, if you challenge it, you want to challenge it in a way where you can remain between the ball and the basket. There she kind of flew by and swiped, giving up that easy finish.
Foster now leading the Lady Toppers with 14. Franklin fakes the 3. Goes dribble instead. Hands off to Kerskeeter down the lane and good. Holly Kerskeeter heating up. She's got 8. Hayes navigating through traffic. Kick in the corner. It's going to be a charging foul as Zakiya Franklin draws the foul on Hayes on the pass.
Two big plays by the leader, Zakiya Franklin, giving up a good shot to find a great shot for a teammate. Holly Kerskeeter continuing to move with the finish there with the right hand.
Tie ball game at halftime. Now Kansas a 6-point lead, just past the midpoint here of the third quarter. Double-double watch continues for Tiana Jackson. Now 9 points, 10 rebounds. So 1 away from her 20th double-double. Zakiya Franklin leading Kansas now with 14. 14 for Jalen Foster leads the way for Western Kentucky. 12 for Acacia Hayes. And a stat that might wow you a little bit. Western Kentucky University's point guard Alexis Mead, all 5 foot 5 inches tall. Their leading rebounder with 10.
Man, there's that feistiness that I was talking about, that competitiveness. You can't be her physical stature and have double digits in the rebound column early in the second half unless you're a competitor, unless you're tough, unless you find ways to track down that basketball.
Point guard wearing number 3, 5 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. At the top of Western Kentucky University's defense here against Kansas, bringing it up the floor. Chandler Prater hands off to Zakiya Franklin. Kansas a 6-point lead, led by as many as 7 in the opening half. Trying to get it inside to Jackson. Instead, it'll be Kerskeeter. Long 3 is splash home. Holly Kerskeeter now with 11. After 3 in the opening half. Quick shot missed and rebound to Prater.
Wow, just as we saw the law of averages play out behind the three-point line for the Hilltoppers early, we're starting to see that a little bit from Holly Kerskeeter behind the three-point arc in this half. Well,
the ball again. Kerskeeter lost the handle. Loose ball at mid-court. Stolen away by Mead. Pushed forward. And ends up in a lay-in. Scrappy play. Teresa Faustino on the finish.
There's a little pinball action there.
So a turnover results in a bucket. Back for the Lady Toppers. Kerskeeter bounced it off her foot again. And here's Mead again, diving the floor again, steals it away. Blocked by Prater, though, on the drive from Faustino. Kerskeeter fakes the three this time, drives, left hand, short. Jackson's follow, no good. And Mead, how about rebound number 11 for the point guard? Drives and kicks. In and out, rattled out from three by Allen.
And rebound number 11, and then 2 forced steals right there by Mead. And she's looking a little bit gassed here coming from that series, but really impressed with her conditioning, because you can't play at her pace and her peskiness unless you're well conditioned.
Inside of Jackson, get a low block opportunity, spins, gets Buster on her hip and lays it in. Double figures now for Jackson, her 20th double-double of the season.
Man, that was a great read there by Tiana Jackson. It looked like she was getting ready to fan that ball out, but recognized she had one-on-one opportunity there in the post, which she should win 90% of the time against the Hilltoppers' size.
Step back to the corner by Meredith is short. Rebound to Kansas, looking to run. Here goes Franklin. Inside to Jackson, and one. Jackson running the floor, rewarded at the other end. The assist from Franklin, the and one for Tiana Jackson. The Jayhawks, their biggest lead. That's the last 2 times down the floor. Jackson the post up.
Great post move right there. Textbook crab dribble, drop step. And then we've got, you got to reward the big fella when they run the court like that. I thought that Chandler Prater did a great job pitching the ball ahead to Zakiya Franklin, who was filling that lane. And Tiana Jackson was awarded with the and-one finish on the other end.
What she does so well is keeps the ball up high, and then you saw her quickly catch and finish. There's no kind of extra movements, especially against a team small that rips away a lot of steals. Quickly back comes Sigafori for 3. Her second made 3, got one quickly off the bench in the opening half, knocks one down here.
And that three-point shot will keep a team like this in the game. Jayhawks have to make sure they don't get into a exchanging of a basket type scenario. They need stops, clean rebounds, and easy baskets on the other end.
Franklin now with 16. A rare low driving shot clock now for the Toppers. A fadeaway 3 is missed by Faustino. Here comes Kansas, 2-on-1. Franklin and Prater. Franklin will take it herself. Doesn't get it. Prater's putback is good. And WKU will call timeout. The Jayhawks have pushed out to a 13-point lead. 1:20 to go here in the third. Time on the floor will take one as well. Kansas, 62-49. Opening round, the WNIT. Jayhawk fans dancing as Kansas has doubled up. WKU here in the third. A tie ball game at halftime. Now their biggest lead at 13, outscoring the Lady Toppers 26-13 in the third with a minute 20 to go.
Talked about doubling up. It seems like the Jayhawks have doubled up their defensive effort, holding the Hilltoppers to 31% shooting from inside the arc and 22 behind the arc. Able to capitalize off those poor percentages on the other end of the court.
A little more selective beyond the arc for Kansas as well. They shot just 2 second-half threes, hit them both after shooting 17 in the first half. A traveling violation through the lane. Savori whistled for the walk, and turnover back to Kansas. WKU coming out of their own timeout, down 13. Pressure broken, here comes Prater. Down the middle of the lane, lost the handle. Ripped away by Faustino. 2-on-3, trailing 3 is fired up and off the mark by Blevins. Long rebound to Kansas. Franklin out ahead of the pack on the run out.
Man, that was a look that the Hilltoppers wanted. Speeding Kansas up into a turnover for the trail 3. Couldn't quite knock it down, but a long rebound led to that leak out. And easy points in transition, and now it could turn into a track meet.
Double team pressure. Jackson was there to help and then ran out for the lay-in. Kansas has scored 10 straight.
We got 4 starters quickly sent to the check-in table by Coach Collins. Looking to stave this onslaught by the Jayhawks.
Faustino, a little fadeaway jumper. Ends the Kansas run, which, was 8-0. And that's the final points of the third quarter. Tie ball game at halftime at 36. Kansas scores 30 in the third. And they lead it by 15. We head to the fourth. Tie game at halftime. You see the third quarter numbers there as Kansas has pushed out to a 15-point lead heading to the fourth. Here's what's at stake. The winner moves on to face Missouri. I asked Coach Brandon about this, Wayne, earlier today. I said, if you use that at all as a carrot, we know how Kansas fans and Missouri fans have battled over the years, and he said, we haven't even talked about it yet, but I hope it's a thing next week.
Yeah, that means they've taken care of business today, which they still have a quarter's worth of work to do here. I know the fans would certainly be up for it. It's interesting. I'm not sure if this generation of Jayhawks really knows what
Right.
that matchup means, but it'd be great for them to figure it out here in a couple of days.
We'll get David Lawrence from the radio side. He'll draw up a little speech if need be about the history of Kansas and Missouri. The Jayhawks, an impressive pushing of the pace here. We mentioned at halftime that Western Kentucky U was probably playing at their pace a little bit more, and Kansas has answered it and more in the third quarter, now entering the fourth. Putback bucket is good by Maya Meredith. The Lady Toppers won't go away, though, not with this style. They can shoot themselves back in. They can turn you over. And this one's far from over here at Allen Fieldhouse. Franklin drives to the lane and through, and it's off of WKU out of bounds. Jayhawks will inbound.
And thinking about the youth of this Toppers roster and the competitiveness that they're showing. As impressed as I've been with them, I know they fell a little bit short of the NCAA tournament, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this team in that field in years to come.
Franklin on the drive. Puts up the 15-footer. Just missed. Yeah, no seniors on this team for WKU. Their starting lineup has a freshman, 3 sophomores, and a redshirt junior. They are young. And we're 1 game away themselves from making the NCAA tournament. Lost in their conference final.
Another great block out there by Yvette Mayberry. One-shot defense going to be so critical for the Jayhawks to keep the Hilltoppers at bay here in this fourth quarter.
Casey Hayes with the foul. Casey Hayes with the foul. That is number 2. First foul of this opening fourth quarter. Kansas probably a game away themselves from being in the NCAA tournament. What turned out to be a costly loss to TCU in the opening round in Kansas City. For all intents and purposes, cost them a trip to the big dance. They were 37th in the net. And Coach Brandon said this team was obviously disappointed, frustrated, angry that they weren't in the field. And he was anxious to see how they would respond here tonight, especially, Wayne, with the NCAA tournament going on. They're seeing teams, and he said, you know, you try to tell them to avoid those teams they think they're better than and they should be in the field ahead of. But certainly the Jayhawks have responded in a positive way here tonight.
Well, one of those games happening today, West Virginia versus Arizona. I'm sure the players and the coaching staff had a little chip on their shoulder knowing that game was going on and having success against both of those teams. But just an interesting kind of March selection show environment with the committee on both the men's and the women's side, because the entirety of the college basketball season, there's so much made of the metrics, the net, and the quad ones, and different wins and strengths of schedules, but it didn't seem to be emphasized nearly as much in their selection process, as we see some other teams slide in with those metrics not quite measuring up.
And Kansas, I mean, they set up their schedule to have a very competitive net ranking, which they were under the belief that was one of the big measuring sticks, and I think they felt like that it didn't quite come to that on Selection Sunday, and here they are in the WNIT, and certainly looking like they want to play for the next round of this one. Buckets up and good for Meredith on the lay-in. Mayberry quickly at the other end for Kansas. Mayberry now with 9. Jayhawks have 4 in double figures. 4 of their 5 starters now in double figures. A steal. Prater knocks it away to Mayberry. 2-on-2. Mayberry switching gears. Finally enters the lane. Missed it. Left open for 3, up and splashed home from the wing for Karis Allen. And again, don't count them out. The Lee Toppers, school record in three-point makes this year, 4th in the country in three-point attempts. They fire up 29 a game. They're over that mark already. 32 three-point attempts here in this one. Franklin to the lane, hesitation dribble, no good. Jackson the stick back and one. Diana Jackson saying, I'm just bigger than everybody. Grabs that rebound and sticks it back.
Yeah, she needed that, because those last 2 offensive scores by the Hilltoppers came from Tiana falling asleep there on the defensive end, trying to even that out. Hilltoppers refusing to go away. I'm just not sure they have enough grit on the defensive end to get consistent stops to help them cut into this lead.
Jackson now with 19 points, 13 rebounds, in her 20th double-double of the season. She has 2 block shots as well, 1 off, tying her season mark set a year ago at 95 block shots, the school record for a season. 1 away from that here in this quarter. Foster for 3. Shot clock at 5 and drains it. Foster's nice afternoon and evening continues now with 17.
Keisha Hayes with a nice job on that kick out, not trying to contest, going up against the 6'6" Tiana Jackson, finding a teammate off the paint touch and dribble penetration.
Allen one-on-one with Prater, finishes and one. Drive to the hole for Allen for the finish.
A great coast-to-coast finish. Scoring over the feisty Prater.
Can't complete the three-point play. Rebound to Jackson, her 14th. Kaya Franklin leading the Jayhawks with 20. Now to Prater down the lane, drives and kicks. How'd she see Kerskeeter there for 3? How about that vision?
And I actually thought that Chandler should have went straight up to finish that. Anytime she's getting down here with her right hand with a head of steam, she can really finish very well. But another advantage of driving right is using that right hand to find that skip pass. And there she's able to find Kerskeeter in the corner. You see this dribble drive, that right hand finds with a catching nice rhythm 3 there. I've liked Holly's three-point selection here in this second half. All in rhythm, all against long closeouts, not forcing the issue quite like we saw there in the first half.
4 made threes for Kerskeeter. She's hit all 3 of them in the second half. Missed her first one there. I still don't know how Prater, that's just playing together a long time, knows exactly where Kerskeeter's going to be on the floor. Wasn't quite a no look, but she didn't have much heads up as Kerskeeter was on the wing.
You know, in a way, Holly's playing a little bit with house money, as she was one of 2 seniors that celebrated Senior Day early in the month. Not quite having the performance that I'm sure she wanted individually against Iowa State, though the team had a huge win. She's back in the field house and wanting to get after it.
Casey Hayes finished at the other end for the Lady Toppers. Now it's 14. Foul out front as Strom is hacked by Meredith. Time on the floor will take one as well. 4:39 to go here in the fourth. Kansas by 13. Just past the midpoint of the fourth quarter. There's a look at the Kansas huddle. They lead it by 13 opening round here of the WNIT.
So coming out of that half, we talked about what is Kansas going to do to create separation in a lot of those categories that we thought they would dominate. And as I look at the stat sheet here, we're seeing that separation in one important category, and that's in rebounds. They were pretty much dead even at the start of the second half. Now Kansas plus 13 on the glass. Again, the importance of that one-shot defense, but then also being aggressive on the offensive glass. We've seen Tiana Jackson able to get some easy putbacks.
Tie ball game at halftime. Now a 14-point Kansas lead. Sana Strom with the free throw line hits the first and gets the second as well. Strom with 7 off the Kansas bench. And the Jayhawk lead at 15. Mead will launch for 3. Battle for the rebound. Meredith put back. Drops halfway down. Foster gets another attempt and is fouled. Third chance once again for the Lady Toppers. Still fighting. Jalen Foster will head to the free throw line. Lady score on the night with 17.
Yeah, and a great competitive effort there. Fighting all the way to the end, and one of those things where you shoot so many threes, you look at a score like this and you say, hey, we're down 15. Hey, that's only 5 threes. We're capable of clipping that off here in 4 minutes. You mentioned Sana Strom earlier with 7 points. That's one thing that's been a huge question mark all season long when it comes to the Jayhawks is their bench production. You know, what are they going to get from 6 through 8? Here we're seeing some good productivity, not only in the point category, but also in taking care of the basketball, which has been very helpful for the Jayhawks.
Legge. Bounce pass to Mayberry. Tied up by Mead and stolen away. Here comes Foster. Mead bounces to the wing. Hayes sets the feet, fires the 3. It spins out.
Man, that thing was almost down. And I'll tell you what, if there's one person you have to find in transition for the Toppers, it's their leading scorer, Hayes. I'm not sure how the Jayhawks left her that wide open.
Kerskeeter on the drive. Tries to flip it to Jessen. Strom. Long 3 is no good. Errant pass, stolen by Strom. Pass ahead intended for Mead, ripped away by the Jayhawks. And they'll call timeout with 3:09 to go. They'll take a quick 30-second timeout as they bounced it in front of Coach Brandon, who calls timeout, leading by 13.
You know, one of the things that you've got to consider about this young, impressive Hilltoppers team that you haven't had to in the past is how will the portal affect their roster? I mean, I'm sure that there are other programs that, you know, are watching this game or are looking around and seeing, hey, who were some of the top producers from a mid-major conference that could level up, like in Wyvette Mayberry, who came from Tulsa last year and strengthened one of those rosters. So I'm sure that's something that Coach Collins and his staff are going to have to keep in the back of their mind with this young group, is how to keep them together on the same roster.
Mentioned coming into today, 914 threes, added 35 more attempts tonight. That's just attempts. And I said, I'm going to ask you a dumb question, Coach. I said, what do you like about the 3? And he said, well, we don't have anybody 6'6" we can throw it into. So maybe scouring the portal for a big, because they got a lot of talented shooters. And maybe that missing component, something on the inside. Not a lot of people have Tiana Jackson, though, in the country as she finishes down low. Once again for Kansas, now with 21. Quickly back the other way. Hayes had it blocked away by Prater. Jayhawks trying to close it out. Slow it up offensively here. Mayberry gets the call from the bench.
That's one of the things you got to appreciate about Chandler Prater is you know what you're going to get every night from her. She's going to show up on both ends of the court, playing with a high motor. She might make a mistake or two getting sped up or maybe not starting out in the right area, but she usually makes up for that and getting possessions back just by how hard she plays.
Prater with her third career double-double tonight as well. 11 points and 12 rebounds, also 6 assists. Good all-around game for Chandler Prater. Top of the key three launched by Foster. Long rebound to Mead. And the point guard gets another rebound, now with 12. Trapped at the corners, Mayberry tries to throw it off the Lady Topper and does. Kansas will get it back.
Good basketball IQ there by the Toppers and seeing that the smaller Mayberry getting that offensive rebound in that deep corner. Sent two to trap and the other is an interceptor. Now allowing them to set up a full court press.
Long pass, now against the full court press. Kerskeeter to Mayberry, who runs underneath it. And we've hit 2 minutes to go. Kansas.
Not quite a touchdown pass from Holly Kerskeeter, but certainly a completion.
And a moving screen whistled on Chandler Prater. That'll be her 4th foul. Jayhawks have just 6 fouls in the game. 4 on Prater. They've stayed out of foul trouble throughout. Prater will stay in the ball game with her 4.
Well, that's one of the things that shooting as many threes as the Toppers does kind of eliminates as an offensive scoring category because you're not attacking the basket nearly as much. A common fan would say, hey, the officials aren't calling as many fouls, or it's not.
Foster got loose underneath and is fouled by Zakiya Franklin.
A lot of that has to do with the Hilltoppers not attacking the basket, though we saw it there, and now they're getting free shots with the clock stopped.
So Foster, nice job with the catch and then drew the foul. 19 points for Foster. One of her better scoring games of the season, had 23 and 10 rebounds in their opener against Vanderbilt. Their only 20-point game of the season. With 15 double-figure attempts, 16 including now tonight. Rebound for Jackson. Off the miss. 1 of 2 at the line for Foster. With 20.
Jayhawks a little too casual right there and bringing the ball up.
Mayberry didn't get it across mid-court, just a second too late, and whistled for the turnover.
So one of the things I really like about Foster, she's done a pretty good job offensively of recognizing her matchup and then attacking offensively accordingly. She was able to shoot several three-point shots over Tiana Jackson on the long closeout, and then she can find a mismatch on the inside and use her size against the Kansas guards.
50 drive and assist, Mead to Foster, who now has 22, and Mead picks up her 7th assist on the bucket. Long pass is knocked out of bounds. Kansas will have it.
I'll say one thing that will help Coach Collins keep this roster together is they do play a fun style of basketball. Who doesn't like to shoot the cover off the basketball every single night?
And if you're a player, who doesn't like the green light, right? Chandler Prater with 13 with the make there. It is Foster now with the bucket inside with 22 now on the make. And timeout, WKU with 46.7 to go.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
Keep it here for a 30-second timeout. So 36-36 ball game at halftime. Kansas went on a 14-5 push at one point. Actually extending that out 18-5 push. End of 3, they let it by 15. And it kept the pace going here in the fourth. WKU outscoring Kansas by 3 here in the fourth. But still a 12-point margin here with under a minute to go.
You know, I think Kansas was really able to pop the top off by making a good adjustment coming out of half, not settling for three-point shots, attacking the basket, getting easy baskets, getting Tiana Jackson involved, and then Holly Kersketer being more selective with her three-point shots, making 3 in that third quarter.
Lady Toppers will pick up the full court press again, broken easily this time by Mayberry. Jayhawks with 4 in double figures. Foster the foul, and Wyvette Mayberry will have the opportunity to become the 5th starter in double figures for Kansas, and she'll head to the line. Strom and Jessen back in. Holly Kersketer gets a nice ovation as she checks out. Tiana Jackson does as well. Kersketer finishes with 14, including 4 made threes, 3 in the second half. Tiana Jackson, her 20th double-double of the season, 21 points and 15 rebounds. And with that free throw make, Wyvette Mayberry joins the other 4 starters in double figures with 10.
Yeah, we knew that this type of performance was something that Tiana Jackson was going to be capable of, given the size of the opponent. I'll tell you what, the thing I was most impressive about is seeing her ability to guard on the perimeter, finishing up with several blocked shots, with those coming not off help defense, but one-on-one defensive coverage that gets a smaller guard driving to the basket.
Tiana Jackson will get a chance to reset her block shot record. She is 1 shy, 2 block shots here today, and 94 for the season. And Kansas will win the opening round of the WNIT here at home, 86-72, your final. Franklin finishes with 20. Jackson led the way with 21, I should say. 21 points, 15 rebounds for Tiana Jackson. 20 points for Zakiya Franklin. 14 for Holly Kersketer. 13 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists for Chandler Prater. And Wyvette Mayberry hit the 2 free throws there at the end. Finished with 11. Also 7 points off the bench from Sana Strom. 24 for Jalen Foster leads WKU her season high. She had 24. Acacia Hayes finished with 14. And the Lady Toppers end their season at 19 and 14. And just keep an eye on this team out of Conference USA. Good, talented young squad came in here to Allen Fieldhouse and battled the Jayhawks throughout the evening. Kansas breaking away in the second half. After a tie game at 36 at halftime, they end up winning it by 14, 86-72. We're joined now by the Jayhawks' leading scorer on the season, Zakiya Franklin. Congrats on the win.
Thank you, guys.
Can you describe a little bit this week? I know disappointed to start the week, right? Your goal was to be in the NCAA tournament. How did you use it heading into the WNIT tournament?
We just kind of looked at it as another opportunity to play. To play in the postseason is big overall, no matter what tournament it is. So we just look at it as another great opportunity to play and get better and just keep playing as many games as possible.
You know, we see the high point scoring totals, both for yourself individually, your team collectively. WKU, a fast-paced team. How enjoyable is it to play in an up-and-down game like that that actually suits your strengths?
It's very enjoyable. Credit to them. They're a good team. They made it this far, so I just want to give them a lot of credit. They play a very fast-paced game and kind of similar to us, so it was kind of fun just to get up and down and play against them.
In your eyes, what kind of broke it open for you? What was the difference in the second half?
The second half, we were just being more aggressive, just being more, Kansas women's basketball, just playing our game. We needed to lock down defensively. We did more of that, and that kind of translated to our offense.
You know, they threw a variety of different defenses at you, a variety of different pressures. How difficult is it to prepare for a team like that, knowing you're not sure what you're going to see?
Yeah, that's the part about the postseason. You kind of don't know. You can scout them, but once you're live, and it's a whole different ball game. So.
All right. We'll ask Wayne. Wayne Simeon, name and number in the rafters here at Allen Fieldhouse, right? He knows all too well a rivalry with Missouri, and we're wondering, is that still a thing?
Most definitely it is a thing for us. We're just excited to learn about them and play against them. It's definitely a rivalry for us, and we're just looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, certainly a rivalry. We're excited you get a chance to experience.
Dub can tell you about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be around practice. I'll be around this week. We'll school you guys up on how much that game means to a lot of people.
Yep, I'm ready to hear all those stories. So.
All right, congratulations on the win.
Thank you, guys.
Play on.
Thank you.
That's Zakiya Franklin, Jayhawks' second leading scorer tonight with 20. Tiana Jackson led the way with 21 points and 15 rebounds. And yes, a matchup with Missouri looms. Likely a Monday game, but not yet sure on the venue. Wayne has proposed they just move the city to Kansas City and get it done, right?
Well, my first preference would be for them to
be at Allen Fieldhouse,
have it here.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's some type of bidding process. The NIT tournament on both sides is a little bit unique in that category. And so I'm sure if they can't figure out where to host it, I'm sure that the T-Mobile Center would be happy to have that.
We got to get a camera into that negotiation that's going to be underway. But likely a Monday game, again, to be announced. Stay tuned to the social media pages for Kansas women's basketball, and I'll let you know of the next matchup. Kansas impressive in the second half as they break open a tie game for the win tonight, 86-72 over WKU. For our entire crew here at Allen Fieldhouse, for Wayne Simeon, I'm Josh Klingler saying so long for now. Thanks for tuning in. Kansas moves on to the second round of the WNIT, winning tonight 86-72. Missouri's next. Thanks for tuning in to Big 12 Now on ESPN+.